Hello and welcome to Christchurch for this, our fourth reflection for Thy Kingdom Come. Today I've come into church to record today's video because we're going to be thinking a little bit about saying sorry to God for the wrong things that we've done, and I wanted to be able to sort of kneel by the communion table and to allow us to reflect in a space where we might often be thinking about such things and to give us some quiet and some pause. We are in this season thinking about Thy Kingdom Come and that time between Ascension and Pentecost when Jesus' disciples waited in Jerusalem and prayed each day in the temple. And this time we are encouraged to spend time praying each day for ourselves and for the growth of the church, and specifically to think of 5 friends or family each day that we're praying for. And we're following the theme of the Father's love for us. And yesterday we thought about how God loved us first. It wasn't that we loved God and we did things for God, and because of those great things, God has condescended to love us. No, it's the opposite. God loved us first. His love is so great that it reached out to us even before we even knew him and drew us to himself. And today we're going to be thinking about a bit more about that and what it means for us, and to reflect and to remember that actually God's love reached out to us while we were still sinners, while we were still doing things wrong, while we were still turning away from God, before we knew him, and while we sometimes deliberately did what we knew was wrong. God loved us first and reached out to us to take us by the hand and welcome us into his presence. And everything that we do for him flows from that. So even when we do things wrong, even when we think we completely mess up, we can know that God's love is still there for us. Let me read to you from another of the letters, at this time from one of Paul's letters, Romans chapter 5, and I'm going to read verses 6 to 8. Paul wrote, "You see, just at the right time, when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person, though for a good person someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." I'm a great Doctor Who fan, and there is an episode when Peter Capaldi was the Doctor. And his companion Clara has been travelling with him, but her boyfriend has been killed. And she desperately wants to go back in time, or to find a way of bringing him back. She misses him so much. And she asks the doctor, and he says he can't go back and save Danny. And so she betrays the doctor. She turns against him and tries to trick him and force him into doing what she wants. But the doctor is aware of what she's doing. He lets the situation play out while never completely falling into her trap. And then at the end they have this argument. And the doctor speaks directly to Clara. He says, "You betrayed me. You betrayed our friendship. You betrayed everything that I've ever stood for. You let me down." And then he continues to actually say he's going to help her. And when she says, why are you going to help me when I've done this to you, when I betrayed you and I turned against you? The doctor continues and replies, "Why? Do you think I care for you so little that betraying me would make a difference? Do you think that I care for you so little that betraying me would make a difference?" I'm going to put a link to that clip at the end of this video, so if you want to actually watch it, spoken with much more power than I can imagine, as Peter Capaldi really delivers those lines as the doctor. But that last line for me is so evocative, and it chimes so much with the love that God has for us. God loved us while we were still sinners, while we were still turning away from him. He loved us. And all the wrong things that we've done, are not enough to turn that love aside. And so although the wrong things that we've done need dealing with, God chose to deal with that himself by dying on the cross in the person of Jesus. So whatever we've done, however we've betrayed God's love, however we've let him down, remember, he still died for us. And he continues to love us, even when we continue to get it wrong now. So I'd like you to reflect on this today. If we are to show God's love to those around us, to those who don't yet know it, who are in need of his love, very often we need to show his love to the people who've turned away from him the most, the people who we think aren't good enough, because God still loves them. And maybe we can think about how God has shown that love to us, and therefore we can extend it to others in the way in which we treat them. Maybe think of the 5 friends or family members that you're praying for, and think about how you can show that same depth of love. Let God's love transform the way you love, and so let others see God's love in you. Let us pray. Loving God, I am sorry for the times when I've not loved others as you love. Thank you that before I thought of confessing, you had forgiven me. I confess all that is not right in my life today, and I ask for forgiveness, the forgiveness you so lovingly have given. May this love transform me and transform my friends and family's lives also. For Jesus' sake, Amen.